Hello and welcome back. This is Chris from T3 Handicapping, and I'm here to bring you the lightning round from Oaklawn Park on Saturday, December 11th, 2021. Thank you for checking back in with the stream. If you are new to this channel, please go ahead and like and subscribe. If you're a returning viewer or returning customer, welcome back. Thank you for your continued support of T3 Handicapping. Let's go ahead and let's jump right into things from Oaklawn Park. First of all, before we do that, just a couple of reminders. You can always access our stuff, t3handicapping.weebly.com. One thing I'm really excited about, if you have not yet tried our product, it's your first time with us, you can actually try it 24 hours for free. You get access to all of our tracks for one day, and hopefully you'll see what a productive tool this can be for you, and you'll consider buying our monthly package, just $10 for 30 days. But your first day, totally free, gets you in there, allows you to look at sort of what we do. You can see all of our results. You can do that now even without being a member. But t3handicapping.weebly.com, that's where you can find all that stuff, and a whole bunch of other things as well. You can always find us here on this YouTube channel. A lot of times we're doing live streams, and then you can find us on Facebook, T3 Handicapping Horse Racing, and then Twitter at Handicapping T3. So lots of ways to get connected with us there, and I try and post a lot of content that way as well. So again, if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and like and subscribe, and feel free to comment on the videos, give your own thoughts. I always appreciate getting input from other people. So let's go ahead and let's jump into our card here today from Oaklawn Park. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up our Oaklawn sheet here. Busy day for us on Saturday. We've got Aqueduct, Fairgrounds, Gulfstream, Mahoning Valley, Oaklawn, and Tampa all running. So we will be very, very busy. It's our raw worksheet there. Let's get the actual document up. All right, so this is our early Oaklawn page. Obviously, this will get adjusted for scratches when those come out. And at Oaklawn, we've been having a fair amount of success early in the meet here. Our A selections, top 4 selections, coming in about 72, I believe, % of the time. So we're doing pretty well there, and we're looking to expand on that. It does look like a fairly complicated card, one that we're going to have to go deep on in a number of different spots. So let's go ahead and let's just jump into things here right off the bat. Race number 1, class level 14, 8.5 furlongs on the dirt. Looking to have a fast pace here, and I'm going to really need 2 horses in this spot. I want the 3 Tiz Showbiz and the 8 Heirloom Kitten. Those are the 2 that are of most interest to me. I've got a little bit of a hunch play here on the number 4, Coach Adams, given that I'm a soccer coach as well, and so obviously the pseudonym works well there. Really outside of that, I don't feel particularly strongly that any of these other ones can even do much. Honestly, I think 3-8 is probably the way to go. But if you look at the top 4, we've got a pretty good shot here. Top 4 on the board are also my top 4 selections. Moving on to race number 2, class level 8, 6 furlongs on the dirt. We're going a nice moderate tempo. You can see that we're a little bit more mixed up here. It's not quite so cut and dry as to who has the advantages in all these different spots. One of the things that I did notice a little bit over the course of the last day here at Oaklawn is it's not a true front running style. It seems like you want to be sort of, kind of towards the outside path maybe a little bit, and be able to just kind of stalk and pounce. And so that's why here, as much as I like Beverly Park, I'm a little worried that Beverly Park wants to be on the front, but I do like that this one is really good towards the end of the race. I think 2, 3, 7 make a ton of sense here. So those would be the ones that I would definitely use on the A line. If we're looking for a horse to come off the pace, I mean, it's pretty clear just by looking at this, just by looking at the graphics themselves, that probably the 4 or the 4 would be the one that you would want to be looking at on sort of your B line here. The 6 California Swing is a little interesting, given that it has the top stamina number, but I still prefer the 4 horse who just shows up in so many different categories here, including class, which I always think does really matter, class and speed alike. So, but for me, it's going to be 237 going through there. I actually, just personally, from a handicapping perspective, I do like the 7 a little bit more than I like the 2, although the 2 does rate out really well on pace and race flow. Race number 3, class level 10, 6 furlongs on the dirt, projected to be a moderate pace. And so as we're looking through this one's one of those interesting spots. You can see Fallen Empire actually rates out the highest, but Fallen Empire is not the top horse in any of these categories. That to me is always a little bit concerning. I definitely want to use that horse, but I really think it's going to be tough to beat Latin Casino in this one. I think that horse is by far and away the best. After that, I'd be interested in using the 2, 4, and 7. But I do think this is a situation where you can look to go a little bit deeper. So I would not talk anybody off of using, say, the 1, who you can see rates up in a couple of categories here. The 7, we are using the 7 already. Sorry, the 9, who has the top stamina rating up there. The 5 has the best overall ability rating. That's actually a co-best rating. The 4 is very close as well. So there's a lot of ways that you can go in this race, and honestly, I would be I wouldn't try and talk anybody off. If you are new to the channel, this little grid up here is kind of where this whole thing started. And basically, if I were looking at this race using the old system here, this might be my exacta right here. I might choose to go 6-9, or I might do a 6-7-5 exacta 6-7-5 try. So basically, the T3 grid is systematically put together handicapping factors that I found to be very successful. These interior ones are ones that I find create more long shot winners, and these ones tend to produce more formful winners. And so they're kind of put together in a way so that when you're using them, you're getting a nice combination of likely horses plus value. So if you're somebody who likes to play the exactas, the tries, and the supers, you can use sort of the T3 grid there to help construct your tickets. And we do have a betting guide for free on our website that you can look at to help you with some of those ideas and options. Race number 4, class level 11, 6 furlongs, projecting a slow pace, but these are lightly raced horses, so we won't put too much stake in that. This is a race that I think has me a little bit perplexed. We're kind of all over the place. I do think you definitely want 5 and 9 on your tickets for sure. The 2 constitutional law also rates out well, so I would have to use that one as well. And then really the only other horse that we haven't used yet is the 4. You can see the 4 here just looks like kind of a cut below. Now these horses are, eligible to progress quickly, and that's something you definitely want to be aware of. I would also think that maybe you'd want to, consider having the 6 somewhere Victory March, good connections here, and has kind of an unknown factor to it. So really a possibility that that one could come and surprise. So that's probably how I'd go there. I'd be willing to go to my 5th selection. I don't typically do go to my 5th selection very often, just because if you've been following our results, top 4 is doing just fine. I don't need to add for that extra coverage. But in this case, I think the race is open enough where I might want to consider it. Race number 5 on Saturday is a class level 8 going 6 furlongs, projected to be kind of a moderate pace. For this one, I think you need to use the 2 much better. Can sit sort of that stalking trip. You're going to have long-term thinking sitting in the middle of the pack. I love that Shotsky came out as such a high grade on this rating system here. Going to sit hopefully that kind of stalking trip. Has run against some really good animals, and has the stamina that could, as they're coming for home, be the difference between not getting there and getting the victory. After that, on the B line, I would use La Martine. but I don't think you need that one used really strongly. I think having it, farther down the ticket is just fine there. I really like the 2-6. That's where I'd like to have most of my money. I do think the one is interesting. Full Authority could get the best of race flow. I would probably include that one on my beeline as well. Now we're back to back races with 5 horses, and I don't love that. So that's something to think about. This is a tricky race just because this one is so deep. With 14, you're going to have some changes. But also, what do we do with so many unknowns? I think that's always a big challenge. But I do think 110 Stadium makes a ton of sense here, and I also think that Razzo does too. Outside of that, I think you can kind of go in a lot of different ways. I'm not in love with the 4. You can see the 4 did not rate out super well, got a C grade. And for horses that have already run, there are others I prefer. I think if you're going to look to something else, I think Street Commander is one that I would definitely want to consider. I would look to use Wheeling Springs as well. Um, I get nervous about race flow because that one does produce just some goofy outcomes and goofy results. Now, once again, I'm going 5 deep, so I don't love where I'm sitting, but I think that's probably the coverage that I need to be able to move on in this sequence. Now we're getting into race number 7, class level 5. Looks like it's going to be pretty hot up on front. And for that reason, I love Sonneman. Sonneman is the number 3 horse, rates out as our top class horse. Should have stamina, and I think that's going to be good. Sitting off of a pace that some others are going to set really hot fractions into. And then from there, it's going to be able to take it home. So I'm going to go with 3. I do also like Cash Logistics as a horse to be up near the front and in the um, sort of in the possibilities. And then I like fact finding as well, but I think I'm going to put fact finding here. I'm a little worried that it's got good early pace, and that seems to be successful. But if it is as hot as I think it's going to be, that could be trouble. Guess Sweet, I guess, is worth a look. It makes me nervous to put a horse in that doesn't rank first in any of our categories over here. I just don't always like to do that if I can help it. So I think I would probably leave that one off. If I was going to use it, I might use it on a deep backup ticket. Moving on here, race number 8. With race number 8, we're at a class level 13, so kind of mid-range horses for Oaklawn Park. 8 furlongs on the dirt. Looks to be pretty slow here, but again, we're dealing with some horses that have some unknown run styles. This right here is a rainbow of a top spot. I always like to look at the top spot, and you can see here there's just so many different ways you can go in this spot. I do really like Sequil, but I'm a little nervous about the slow pace with it being a closer. But as you can see, this horse could be able to control if it really wanted to go. Now I'm concerned that my top 4 selections are all they all tend to be sort of middle of the pack or deeper horses. I do think 4 River Redemption is one that you would want on your A line. And then I would say the last one that I would definitely want to use is 5. I just don't really care to leave my top selection off. I do think 1 makes a lot of sense as well in this spot. And then the other one that I would use at a little bit of a price, maybe not so much in my win and play stuff, but certainly further down my ticket in the exotics would be this number 10 here. Captain Fantastic at 10 to 1. That seems like good value for a horse that's rating out as a C plus or a C minus. My favorite uncle is also, is a B minus grade, an 80, but you're only getting 7 to 2. I'm getting significantly higher here with this horse. Instead of 3.5, I'm basically getting an additional 6.5 points for essentially 9 points in the rankings. And to me, that seems like value. Race number 9, class level 7, going 8.5 furlongs on the dirt. Looks like we're going to have plenty of pace signed on. And for me, it's Flash of Mischief. This one I really like. I'm super nervous. I think Superstock makes a ton of sense. I can understand why people want to use that horse. I can understand that he is going to be a prominent runner here. But my concern is that Superstock is going to get bet off of the good races from the Derby Trail, and from some of those in between races. The name is really kind of popping for people, and may just cause the price to be really bet down. I do think some horses that are interesting at a price. I like Ram. Now, again, this is another one that I may not use to win the race. I really think Flash of Mischief has this, but I do like Ram to be in the exacta, the try, things like that. And then the other one that I think is really interesting solely for the purpose of filling out exactas and tries is Myopic. Myopic, if you look in the past performances, is dropping in here and showed speed last out and then faded. Although the pace projects to be fast, this is the only one that's shown that it needs the lead. So if the five guns and goes and nobody goes with, maybe Myopic gets out on the front. I'm not saying the horse holds on, but speed's been very kind at Oaklawn so far this meet, and maybe that one can hold on for a piece. Race number 10, our final race of the day. We're going class level 6, 8.5 furlongs. Another fast pace projected here. My top selection in this one is going to be Phantom Dance, the number 9. This horse rates out as our number 1. Good class, record at the distance, and you can see very close in a lot of key categories. But I would also want to use Palace Coup on that first line as well. Go for Sherry, I would say from just a true like rating point, I would say a B level horse, but I want to use that horse on my A line because I'm getting great value on it. At 12 to 1, I can feel good about taking that horse at that price. Now, others that are of interest to me, I mean, I think in terms of the obvious next choice, it would be quarterback Dak. That's the one I like there. But in going through and really looking at this race, I did also find some interest in some others, and I do think there are a number of horses that could win here. I think Mr. Tip is an interesting one, and I think that Gigging as well is another one that is in with a shot. But again, for me, the Seahorses, not likely to find their way into the win and place portions of my ticket, but maybe at 6 to 1, at 8 to 1, maybe they're filling out my tries, they're filling out my supers, and maybe they spring an upset, but I'm just not going to be able to cover them on my ticket, and so I'm going to have to use them, further down in those exotics. So with that, we have concluded the 10 race card. This was a little bit more of a true lightning round. We got through that nice and quick tonight. With that, I wish you the best of luck at Oaklawn on Saturday. We do have tons of other tracks available. We have Gulfstream, Aqueduct, Mahoning Valley, Tampa Bay, obviously Oaklawn Park. And then don't forget that Saturday is Louisiana Champions Day from Fairgrounds. Not only do we have that, but you can also read my analysis of Saturday's card from the Fairgrounds on bettingnews.com. And I do have a link to that on my website as well, so that you can read that and get full analysis of all the races, including the 3/4 at the beginning of that card. So take that for what it's worth. But if you want to get picks for all those different places, tomorrow would be a great day. I highly recommend using your free day on Saturday because you're going to get the most for your free trial. You're going to get tomorrow 6 tracks. That's really a Saturday only thing. We typically don't do that many tracks any other day of the week. So use your free trial. Go to our website, click and get free access. As soon as you do, I'll give you access to the member portal for 24 hours. Take advantage of it. Use it. Cash those tickets. Have a great weekend. We'll be back for coverage of Sunday from Oaklawn Park as well. Cash them.